Good morning, Westside. We're going to be starting our service this morning by singing Fuente de Amor, or Spirit of Life. We'll be singing first in Spanish, then in English, and then once again in Spanish. I've invited my friend and longtime voice student, Carlos Barajas, to lead us in singing this beautiful hymn.
Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Sopla al volar, sube en la mar hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraígame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Sopla al volar, sube en la mar hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraígame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Welcome to our virtual gathering of the Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation on this beautiful Sunday morning. Even as we were singing, a chicken from my neighbor's yard was announcing the arrival of an egg to the world. It is a Mother's Day indeed. I am the Reverend Deanna Vandiver, your bridge minister, and I serve at Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation as an affiliated community minister for love and liberation with the Church of the Larger Fellowship. And I am delighted to lead worship this morning with the Reverend Cynthia Westby, the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth at Westside UU. Joining us behind the scenes, but making the very scenes possible, is an extraordinary technical team, making sure that this worship service is delivered to you virtually as gracefully as possible. And I offer so much gratitude. Beloveds, whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome in this faith community. We gather today from many locations, and we take this moment to particularly acknowledge that our congregation resides on the traditional territory of the Duwamish people. In this acknowledgement, we recognize the Duwamish heritage is imbued in the mountains, valleys, waterways, and shorelines that surround us all. May we nurture our relationships with our coastal Salish neighbors, especially the Duwamish people, and our shared responsibilities to this place. At this time, we are acutely aware of the traumatic history of pandemics brought through colonization on these native cultures and the traumatic impact it caused. Let us take a moment to offer humble respect for this place and its peoples. Our opening words this morning are adapted from Reverend Gretchen Haley. Life comes for us in 1,000 different ways, undoes plans and upends traditions, knocks down the doors of our defense in a moment. Every expectation releases like the in and out of breath. Life is urgent and also unbearably slow, and does not take well to our fantasies of control. We gather here to practice surrendering to the waves of grace and grief, in song, in silence, in story. We come to remember the possibility of a larger call that we might offer our gifts with a surprising generosity, that we might release ourselves from the needing to know, that we might simply be present to this beauty, these possibilities, this hope that we make together. Come, let us worship together. We open our worship with the lighting of the chalice. A flame within a chalice is a primary symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, and our chalice lighter this morning is Lisa Maynard.
Lisa Maynard came to Westside 10 years ago with other members of the former Rainier Valley congregation. At that time, she greatly appreciated the warm welcome Westside offered, and also its strong culture of gratitude and joy, still evident even in these tough times. Lisa loves to sing and play music with other people, and Westside has provided lots of musical opportunities. Along with singing in the choir, she leads the welcome singers and a monthly uke and guitar strumming session, and she is part of the Rainier Reunion vocal trio with friends Liz Bucklew and Chris McEwen. She also has served as board secretary and played one of the Beatles at the WSUU auction in 2017. Lisa lives in Columbia City with her daughter Kira, a senior at Cleveland High School, partner Mike Blom, and kitty Tabby. She looks forward to the day when our community can gather in person for Sunday services. But until then, she is grateful to Scott and the expanded AV team for providing this terrific virtual experience of Westside's warmth and energy. And Lisa would like to wish a very happy Mother's Day to Natalie Maynard, joining us today from Massachusetts.
Thank you. Our chalice lighting words are adapted from the Reverend Nancy Reed McKee. We light this chalice and remember you. Each of you carries this divine spark within you. You may feel alone, yet you are integral, a part of this community, a part of our common fire. You are here. Your light carries through invisible microfilaments connecting you to me and to all the others here. I love your face. I hear your voice. I see your fire. Burn on. Shine your chalice of light, of love, of deep connection until we are in each other's presence once again.
Good morning, everyone. I am the Reverend Cynthia Westby, and I would love to invite everyone as they are able and willing, and in whatever way serves you best, to join me in a dance party. We'll be dancing to the Jingle Punks, You Make Me Feel Good. So let's dance.
That was very delightful. Thank you, friends. Welcome again to our Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation. If you are with us for the first time, that was special, and we are grateful. And we are so glad that you found us during this complex time. Please contact us via our website, wsuu.org, so we can send you our weekly electronic newsletter, the Westside Week, with information about upcoming worship services and other virtual activities. Even as we shelter in place, we have many invitations to our community. Some of you may know these as announcements. We're going to begin this morning with an invitation from our community outreach ministry to participate in the Welcome Table non-perishable food drive on the Saturdays of May 16th and May 23rd. The Welcome Table, sponsored by Westside Interfaith Network, WIN, provides lunch, clothing, and hygiene products to over 100 homeless and housed low-income people every Saturday at its new location at Body of Christ Church, 1320 Southwest 102nd Street, 2 blocks east of McLendon Hardware in White Center. At the Welcome Table, Westside members have been volunteering by bringing and helping to serve food for quite a while at the Saturday event. And because of COVID-19, more people in the economic, more people have had to look for food resources, including undocumented immigrants who are not eligible for or afraid to sign up for benefits for fear of being detained by immigration enforcement. And so on the Saturdays of May 16th and May 23rd, our faith community is invited to bring bags of non-perishable food to the Welcome Table to be distributed to those who need provisions for their families. And you can bring your bags of food directly to the Welcome Table at 11:30 a.m. on either Saturday, or you can call Regina Brennan, and we'll put this information over in the chat box. It's also in your Westside Week. Thank you, friends. And this week, I'll be hosting our second virtual gathering of the Aging to Saging group on Wednesday, May 13th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. So again, that Westside Week, it's important to read. There's a lot going on in there. You can check it out and also learn more about many small group ministries and Common Quest learning opportunities available through Westside this spring. Now, for the flower communion meditation later in today's service, you are welcome to have a flower with you. And you know, you're Unitarian Universalists. We understand that flowers come in many forms. There's the beloved pipe cleaner flower. There are always pictures of flowers, paper art flowers, or, you know, flowers. Worry not if you don't have any of those. So long as you have an imagination, you are set for this service. You're also invited to virtual coffee hour today, immediately following the postlude, and you can just stay online and click on the Zoom link that was included in this morning's worship blast email, and that will be shared in the chat box at the end of the service. You'll be able to click and join in. The Zoom link will take us into a different meeting format, so you'll see more than just a couple of faces, everybody's faces. It's really amazing. The coffee gathering is large. We'll break into smaller groups, and you should know those are assigned randomly. So we hope that you'll meet someone new and connect with someone dear to you at that time. One of our core values as a congregation is that we aspire to be warm and welcoming to everyone. In support of this important ministry, let us take a moment to picture the faces of our friends at Westside and to imagine the space we keep open to welcome newcomers. We want to stay connected with each other and make new connections during our virtual service. So please type your greetings into the chat box so we know you're here and can send you love. And then if you wish, please take a moment to send a quick text or email or loving thought to someone you care about. We are all invited to please take a little extra time to be friendly and kind with those you encounter, however distantly, throughout your week. Thank you for continuing to connect, dear ones. And now you are invited to rise in body or spirit and join us for a song for our times. Hymn number 120, Whoa, yeah, yeah.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we'll get there, heaven knows how we will get there.
as we gather and center ourselves, you'll find the words of our congregational affirmation appearing on your screen. One of the most important expressions of how we are bound together as a community of faith, children, youth, and adults, is this spoken congregational affirmation. This is a statement of our highest values as Unitarian Universalists and the promises we make to each other at Westside to co-create our beloved community. Please join me now in our unison affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, thus do we covenant with one another. And now, friends, everyone, children, adults, all of us, and all y'all, we're gonna stay here for the whole service today. No one goes anywhere. In a moment, we're gonna engage in a collective act of generosity, contributing to Westside via the magic of text or by check, old school way. As a congregation, we've decided to give away 1/3 of the offering each week of the undesignated financial gifts, and the contributions for the month of May will go to the White Center Food Bank. They are helping feed a record number of people in need during this time. This month, we're supporting White Center Food Bank to give by text 888-530-9056. And you can text edit to update payment info. Thank you, Shannon, for that note. Thank you, friends, for your generosity in helping to sustain our beloved community, Westside and beyond. Our gift of music, chosen by Reverend Cynthia, the Song of Kabir, is shared with us by the Unity Singers of Unity Unitarian in St. Paul, Minnesota. The generous composer is Elizabeth Alexander.
You
Thank you for your spiritual practice of generosity this morning. On this Mother's Day, a holiday that sparks a wide spectrum of emotion for people from joy to grief, we offer you this collective blessing for all the mothers by Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers, the birth mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, the used to be dad mothers, and more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers and those whose grief is complex, for all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the great mother. You are held and beloved.
Each week we come together as a congregation to connect and share that which matters most to us. At this time, we make collective space for holding our joys and our sorrows. We honored this year's coming of age class, which held their closing dinner on May 3rd via Zoom, where each youth shared their credo created over the course of their lives, and this year with the guidance of Shelley, John, and Steve. We honor these youth, Quinn, Natalie, Ian, Molly, Tallulah, Lila, and Anne, and we celebrate with joy your faith formation journey. From Kevin Lane Cummings, this joy, Celeste Lane Cummings competed this week in the National Battle of the Books, hosted by Gallaudet University, a deaf school. Because of the pandemic, her team didn't get to compete in Washington, D.C. They used Zoom meetings instead, and her team won 4th place. Congratulations, Celeste. And from Tony Riccardi, this sorrow. Tony is sad to share that his Auntie Gloria, his father's oldest sister, died last week from the complications of COVID-19 at the age of 92. She did not have an easy life, but she was a force and a true survivor. Her presence on this earth is greatly missed, and Tony hopes she finds peace in her rest. We hold in our hearts the family of Ahmaud Arbery, age 25, who was jogging in the Santilla Shores neighborhood in Georgia this past February when a man and his son followed Arbery before shooting and killing him. It's only now in the month of May, after nationwide protests, that the 2 men who killed Arbery have been arrested. We grieve the systemic racism that both ended Arbery's life and tried to discount the very value of his precious life. And we hold in our hearts the family of Carlos Escobar Meija, a 57-year-old man from El Salvador who had been living in the United States for 40 years. He died from COVID-19 on Wednesday in an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention center where he had been held in ICE custody since being stopped in a car by the Border Patrol in Chula Vista in January. We mourn the inhumanity of detaining human beings for political reasons and grieve the deaths of Carlos and everyone held against their will during a global pandemic. The very creation of Mother's Day as a national holiday came out of a national sorrow about grief and war and hope for the joy of peace. We now share with joy and sorrow the proclamation written in 1870 by Unitarian suffragist and peace activist Julia Ward Howe, courtesy of the Unitarian Society of East Brunswick, New Jersey.
Arise, all women who have hearts.
Whether your baptism be that of water or of tears, Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies.
Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause.
Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience.
We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country,
to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs.
From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own.
It says, disarm,
Disarm. The sword is not the balance of justice.
Blood does not wipe out dishonor, nor violence indicate possession.
As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war.
let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council.
Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead.
Let them solemnly take counsel with each other as to the means whereby the great human family can live in peace.
Each learning after their own time the sacred impress, not of Caesar, but of God.
In the name of womanhood and of humanity,
I earnestly ask that a General Congress of Women, without limit of nationality,
may be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient and at the earliest period consistent with its objects.
To promote the alliance of the different nationalities.
The amicable settlements of international questions.
The great and general interest of peace.
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 Peace. Let us hold in our hearts the joys and sorrows, both known and unknown, of this beloved community. May we feel held by a vast love. May we choose to rest in this vast love, in all our joys and all our sorrows. You are invited to breathe in and breathe out. And join us in song. There is a love.
Now, Reverend Deanna and I are going to tell you a story. Rabbit Looks for God by Kelly Wiseman Asperth Jackson. One day, a rabbit set out from the woods carrying a question to all the other creatures that it met. The rabbit came first to a butterfly fluttering in an open field and asked, "Friend, butterfly, what can you tell me about the thing called God?"
The butterfly thought for a moment and said, God is the guiding wind that blows me from this field to that one and points me to where the weather is warm, and I can help the flowers bloom by flying from one to another.
The rabbit thanked the butterfly and continued on its journey, coming to a horse who was grazing at the other end of the field. The rabbit hopped and asked, "Friend horse, what can you tell me about the thing called God?"
The horse looked at the rabbit, still chewing away at the sweet grass, and said, "God is the ground that holds me up, gives folks an open field to walk and run against, and all this lovely grass to eat."
The rabbit thanked the horse and hopped further onward. A little while later, it came to a slow running stream, and peeking over the bank, the rabbit saw a fish. The rabbit dipped its mouth into the water to ask, "Friend fish, what can you tell me about the thing called God?" And then the rabbit raised its head back up and put one ear into the water to listen for the answer.
The fish replied, "God is water I swim in. It surrounds me all the time and gives me something to breathe and move through. It's something that everyone needs to live."
The rabbit thanked the fish, bounded off again, and very soon almost ran right into a tree. Craning its head upwards to look towards the very topmost branches, the rabbit asked, "Friend tree, what can you tell me about the thing called God?"
The tree answered slowly, but without hesitating, "God is the sun that feeds me and all my neighbors and family. I spend all of my days reaching upwards towards it and encouraging the shorter trees to do the same." The rabbit thanked the tree, and seeing that it was getting late in the day, set off to go back home for the night. As the rabbit was approaching its den, its neighbor the squirrel called out from nearby, "Friend rabbit, after your day of asking the same question over and over, what can you tell me about the thing called God?"
The rabbit thought for a very long time and then said, "I can tell you that the butterfly cares deeply for the flowers. The horse wants everyone to have open fields to roam on. The fish knows everyone needs water to live. And the tree hopes its children will grow as tall as it has grown." And then the rabbit went down into its burrow and went to sleep for the night.
Let's take a moment to honor the holy curiosity that rabbit brings to this world, and to acknowledge the need for rest after so much wonder and engagement with the world. I invite you to imagine that you are a rabbit, and you have spent the day hopping around in search of understanding about the thing called God. You've done this all day, so you're a little tired, so you might yawn and stretch. Maybe give yourself a gentle hug. And slowly, as you close your eyes or soften your gaze, breathing in and out, in and out. Imagine you have begun to dream. And in your dreams, you begin to see images, pictures of how you understand the thing called God, spark of life, holy being, big love. Like the butterfly and the horse and the fish and the tree, all imagined and shared with rabbit, and rabbit shared with squirrel. You are invited to imagine. Breathing in and breathing out. Dreaming and letting go of other people's ideas of this thing called God. And your feelings, perhaps, about those ideas. Just breathing in and out, resting in your dream, letting your own way of knowing rise to the surface like bubbles through air. Opening, imagining, noticing, listening, wondering like rabbit. Rest for the moment in that wonder. Breathing in and breathing out. Return to this place, this time. Gently open your eyes or sharpen your gaze. Maybe yawn, stretch. Perhaps offer yourself another gentle hug. You deserve a hug for all this wondering. Breathe in and breathe out. And perhaps open your heart to the wonder of the gift of our anthem on this Flower Communion Sunday by Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout. I know this rose will open.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know, 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 I know. I know, 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 I know this rose, I know this rose, I know my fear, I know my fear, I know my soul, I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose, I know this rose, I know this rose, I know my fear, I know my fear, I know my soul will unfurl its wings.
Whew. I know this rose will open. It's time. Although I joined the community in September, so I wasn't here for last year's flower communion ritual. Many of you were. This year's ritual will, like so many of our adaptations this spring, be a little different. So many of you sent in pictures of flowers to share a thank you, dear ones. And if you wish to hold a flower in your hand for this ritual, now's a good time to make sure you have one nearby. In June of 1923, Norbert Capek created the flower celebration, now known as Flower Communion, with the new Unitarian congregation called the Liberal Religious Fellowship, which he and his wife Maja, who later also became an ordained Unitarian minister, formed in Prague in 1921. Now for the ritual, each member would bring a flower to the church where it was placed in a large central vase. And at the end of the service, each would take home a different flower. And this symbolized the uniqueness of each individual, that inherent worth and dignity, and the coming together in communion, that interdependent web of all existence, sharing this uniqueness. In March 1941, Norbert was arrested by the Gestapo, who confiscated his books and sermons. He was charged with the capital crime of listening to foreign broadcasts. And after some time in prison, Norbert was taken to Dachau concentration camp, where he was killed in 1942. When the news of his death reached the United States, the American Unitarian Association president, we were still Unitarians and Universalists at the time, Frederick May Elliott wrote, "Another name is added to the list of heroic Unitarian martyrs by whose death our freedom has been bought. Ours is now the responsibility to see to it that we stand fast in the liberty so gloriously won." On this Flower Communion Sunday, we honor the unique beauty of the flowers and of each of you. We honor the power of communion, of connection, created when we join our flowers and our life force together. And we honor our commitment to loving each other and this world so fiercely that hate and indifference will not have the final word on this holy story. Let us begin this ritual with the singing of the Flower Communion doxology, written by Lisa Doge and shared with us today by Scott Farrell, your music director of Westside UU. You're invited to rise, embody your spirit, friends, as we sing.
In colors bright and essence sweet, like flowers we bloom when we meet. O source of life, our song we raise. This beauty fills our hearts with praise. In colors bright and essence sweet, like flowers we bloom when we meet. O source of life, our song we raise. This beauty fills our hearts with praise.
Thank you. And I offer gratitude to Dejan, who's offered his poem, The Droplet, to accompany the moment we've all been waiting for, our Flower Communion ritual. May you receive the beauty and connection of this time, I offer deep gratitude to Cheryl Brown, Religious Exploration Assistant at Westside Unitarian Universalist, for collecting your beautiful gifts of flowers. May we now give and receive.
As our flower meditation this morning, Spirit of the flowers blooming, be with us. As you imagine or really hold a flower in your hand, take a moment to deeply appreciate that flower. Enjoy its color, its petals, its smell, what it feels like. What really grabs your attention? Is it the center or something else special about your flower? Flowers stretch up toward the sun, which feeds them. Flowers have roots hugging the earth. Does your flower inspire you in some way in your own life? Where do you draw strength? Where do you feel fed and cared for? Today and always, may you feel the light and warmth of love. May you feel the joy that beauty, like the beauty of your flower, brings you. May you share your gifts as freely as flowers do. And may it be so. And now, friends, you were invited to rise in body or spirit as we have one more dance party together and sing hymn number 118, This Little Light of Mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hiding under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hiding under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hiding under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Oh, friends, may you shine and shine and shine. We will release the chalice flame this morning, but not the lights in our hearts. With this adapted prayer written by Norbert Kapik for the initial flower communion ritual. In the name of Providence, which implants in the seed the future of the flower, and in our hearts the longing for people to live in harmony, in the name of the highest in whom we move and who makes the mother and father, the brother and sister, lover and loner what they are. In the name of sages and great religious leaders who sacrifice their lives to hasten the coming of the age of mutual respect. Let us renew our resolution sincerely to be real siblings, regardless of any kind of bar which estranges us from each other. In this holy resolve, may we be strengthened knowing that we are God's one family, that one spirit, the spirit of love, unites us, and endeavor for a more loving and more joyful life. Amen.
Our service concludes with the singing of the fivefold Amen. Please join hands in body or spirit, wherever you are, as we sing together.
Amen. You are invited to join a postlude gift by John Hanson, and then to join us in virtual coffee hour as you're willing and able by clicking on the link provided in the chat box or in the worship blast email sent to you this morning. There is a separate link for if you wish to join in a conversation with your Westside board members, the lay leaders who have given so many loving gifts of service and care during this year. Dear ones, thank you all so much for being a part of this worship service and this beloved community. Go in peace.
That's it. Go. I don't know, Carrie. You'll have to join in and figure it out. I think until the questions run dry. All right. See you at coffee hour. Bye.